The Belgian franc was the currency of the Kingdom of Belgium from 1832 until 2002 when the euro was introduced. It was subdivided into 100 subunits, known as centime, centiem or centime. History: the conquest of most of Western Europe by revolutionary and Napoleonic France led to the French franc's wide circulation. In the Austrian Netherlands, the franc replaced the kroon and thaler. This was in turn replaced by the Dutch guilder when the United Kingdom of the Netherlands was formed. Following independence from the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the new Kingdom of Belgium in 1832 adopted its own franc, equivalent to the French franc, followed by Luxembourg in 1848 and Switzerland in 1850. Belgian mint working during the late 19th century was innovative, and Belgium was the first country to introduce coins made of cupronickel, in 1860. In 1865, Belgium, France, Switzerland and Italy created the Latin Monetary Union. Each would possess a national currency unit worth 4.5 g of silver or 290.322 milligrams of fine gold, all freely exchangeable at a rate of 1:1. In the 1870s the gold value was made the fixed standard, a situation which was to continue until 1914. In 1926, Belgium, as well as France, experienced appreciation and an abrupt collapse of confidence, leading to the introduction of a new gold currency for international transactions, the belga worth 5 francs, and the country's withdrawal from the monetary union, which ceased to exist at the end of the year. The belga was tied to the British pound at a rate of 35 belgas equals £1 and was thus put on a gold standard of 1 belga equals 209.211 milligrams fine gold. The 1921 monetary union of Belgium and Luxembourg survived, however, forming the basis for full economic union in 1932. In 1935, the Belgian franc was devalued by 28% to 150.632 milligrams fine gold, and the link between the Luxembourg and Belgian francs was revised to 1 Luxembourgish franc equals 1 of 4 Belgian francs. Following Belgium's occupation by Germany in May 1940, the franc was fixed at a value of 0.1 Reichsmark, reduced to 0.08 Reichsmark in July 1940. Following liberation in 1944, the franc entered into the Bretton Woods system, with an initial exchange rate of 43.77 francs equals US dollar set on October 5. This was changed to 43.8275 in 1946 and then to 50 following the devaluation of the British pound in September 1949. The Belgian franc was devaluated again in 1982. Like 10 other European currencies, the Belgian Luxembourgish franc ceased to exist on January 1, 1999, when it became fixed at 1 European euro equals 40.3399 BEFLUF. Thus a franc was worth a 0.024789. Old franc coins and notes lost their legal tender status on February 28, 2002. Language equals. Initially, the currency was monolingual in French. From 1886, some Belgian coins also carried Dutch language legends. Some later coins featured inscriptions in both languages. When the two languages appeared on either side of the same face of a coin, two versions were still produced, one with Dutch to the left and French to the right, and one with the alternate arrangement. Banknotes became bilingual in the 1887 and, from 1992, banknotes were introduced which were trilingual, with either French or Dutch on the obverse and German and the remaining language on the reverse. Some commemorative coins were issued with German inscriptions but none for circulation. Coins. Between 1832 and 1834, copper 1, 2, 5 and 10 centime, silver 1 of 4, 1 or 2 franc, 1 franc, 2 franc and 5 franc, and gold 20 and 40 franc coins were introduced. Some of the early 1 and 2 centime were struck over Dutch 1 or 2 and 1 cent coins. The 40 franc was not issued after 1841, whilst silver 2 1 or 2 francs and gold 10 and 25 francs were issued between 1848 and 1850. Silver 20 centime replaced the 1 or 4 franc in 1852. In 1860, cupronickel 20 centime were introduced, followed by cupronickel 5 and 10 centime in 1861. The silver 5 franc was discontinued in 1876. Between 1901 and 1908, hold, Cupro nickel 5, 10 and 25 centime coins were introduced. In 1914, production of the 1 centime and all silver and gold coins ceased. Zinc 5, 10 and 25 centime were introduced in the German-occupied zone, followed by hold, zinc 50 centime in 1918. Production of 2 centime ended in 1919. In 1922 and 1923, nickel 50 centime and 1 and 2 franc coins were introduced bearing the text good for. Nickel brass replaced Cupro nickel in the 5 and 10 centime in 1930, followed by the 25 centime in 1938. Nickel 5 and 20 francs were introduced in 1930 and 1931, respectively, followed by silver 20 francs in 1933 and 50 francs in 1939. As a consequence of the German occupation in 1940, the silver coinage was discontinued. In 1941, zinc replaced all other metals in the 5, 10 and 25 centime, and 1 and 5 francs. In 1944 the Allies minted 25 million 2-franc coins at the Philadelphia Mint using leftover plankets for the 1943 steel cent. In 1948, Cupro nickel 5 francs and silver 50 and 100 francs were introduced, followed by silver 20 francs in 1949 and Cupro nickel 1 franc in 1950. Bronze 20 and 50 centime followed in 1953 and 1952, respectively. The silver coinage ceased in 1955. Cupro nickel 25 centime coins replaced the 20 centime in 1964. Nickel 10 francs were introduced in 1969, followed by bronze 20 francs in 1980 and nickel 50 francs in 1987. Aluminium bronze replaced Cupro nickel in the 5 franc in 1986, whilst nickel-plated iron replaced Cupro nickel in the 1 franc in 1989. Coins ceased to be convertible in 2004. Banknotes. Between 1835 and 1841, notes were issued by the Societe Copyright Copyright de Commerce de Bruxelles, the Banque Legrand, the Societe Copyright 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 Nérel pour favoriser l'industrie nationale, the Banque de Belgique, the Banque de Flandre and the Banque Liégeoise et Caisse des Permelpans in denominations which included 5 francs 10 francs 20 francs 25 francs 50 francs 100 francs 250 francs 500 francs and 1,000 francs. In 1851, the National Bank of Belgium began issuing paper money, in denominations of 20 francs 50 francs 100 francs 500 francs and 1,000 francs. 1 franc 2 franc and 5 franc notes were introduced in 1914. The Societe Copyright Copyright Nérel de Belgique issued paper money in the German-occupied areas between 1915 and 1918 in denominations of 1 francs 2 francs 5 francs 20 francs 100 francs and 1,000 francs. The Treasury took over production of 5 and 20 franc notes in 1926. In 1927, notes were introduced by the National Bank with denominations given in both francs and belgas. These were 50 francs 100 francs 500 francs 1,000 francs and 10,000 francs. In 1944, following liberation, new bank notes were introduced in denominations of 5 francs 10 francs 100 francs 500 francs and 1,000 francs. These were the last notes to bear denominations in belgas. Treasury notes for 50 francs were introduced in 1948, followed by 20 francs in 1950, whilst the National Bank continued to issue 100 francs 500 francs and 1,000 francs. 5,000 franc bank notes were introduced in 1971, with the 20 and 50 franc Treasury notes replaced by coins in 1980 and 1987, respectively. 10,000 franc bank notes were introduced in 1992, the same year that production of the 5,000 franc note ceased. 2,000 franc notes were introduced in 1994. Unlike coins, bank notes removed from circulation in 2002 may be exchanged into euros at the National Bank of Belgium for an indefinite period of time. The notes taken out of circulation in 2002 were, earlier notes included use of Luxembourgish francs in Belgium. Between 1944 and 2002, 1 Luxembourgish franc was equal to 1 Belgian franc. Both francs were legal tender in the two countries. Nevertheless, payment with Luxembourgish banknotes were commonly denied by shopkeepers in Belgium either by ignorance or by fear that their other customers would refuse the banknotes, forcing them to go through the hassle of a trip to their bank to redeem the value of the banknote. See also, Belgian euro coins, Belgium-Luxembourg Economic Union, Economy of Belgium, euro gold and silver commemorative coins. References. Footnotes. External links, NBBB, A Brief History of Belgian Banknotes and Coins, NBBB, Exchange of Belgian Banknotes, news.bbc.co.uk, Overview of Belgian franc from the BBC.